Well, 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 look who decided to show their face. It has been a little while since Bruno came out to play for sure, but I'm hoping to put him to work today because I've got a project. I've got Louie loaded up with the roller and the skid loader and hydro bucket. I've got a handful of driveways I could do. So I'm gonna start out on the first one, hopefully get maybe 2, 3 even in this video. We're gonna see what all we can get done. It's October 31st, starting to get cold. These folks want these driveways done before winter sets in. I do too. So we'll get on the road and I'll show you what we're up against. Should be fun.
Dig drive DIY.
All right, well, this first driveway that I'm gonna work on today is for a high school buddy named Rob. He was actually the one that came over and built the island for our basement and did the column wraps for the 2 posts that are holding up the ceiling. So he did a great job on that, and we decided to trade a little work. So we got the benefit of Rob building out that stuff for us, and now I'm gonna work on his driveway a little bit in exchange. So we'll be there really quick. We'll have a look at what's going on, and then we'll tear into it. All right, I am here. It's a little bit of a gloomy day. It's rainy, but the first thing I need to do anyway is work in the skid loader with the grinder bucket. So we're gonna be dealing with a few challenges here on this one. It's an easy driveway, but the materials, the situation's challenging. I'll show you. How you been?
Good.
Good to see you. You're on camera now, Rob. Again. Now let me remind myself what's going on here. We're just doing a fluff and regrade and a little stone addition, right?
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is going to be some of these big rocks that are left behind, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to start trying to cut out some dirt here. Oh yeah, lots of clay. This could be a lot of loads of dirt. Okay, we got this side of the driveway cut out, looking pretty good. This gives us a place to get rid of some of them big monster rocks too. Those are ones, and those were your base, but they're floating up to the top too. But got the curve cut out. That'll give them a lot more room to get backed out of the garage and stuff. But we're gonna widen this out right in front of the shop here. Straighten this out. That's what I like. I like straight edges. That'll give you room to park your trailer next to the door too. Let's have a look here. So what I have tried to do is, we got the edge cut out obviously, and that looks pretty good, but there was a lot of those big ones right at the surface. So I've been trying to work it up with a hydro bucket, get it stirred up, get it fluffed up, and now before we add any more stone, I want to see if Rob can use the roller, and we'll pack this in and mash down in there and see what it looks like. And then we can cover them up with new rock. But I can see that's where the bulk of them were right there, huh?
Yeah.
There ain't much to it.
Yeah.
I will let him work on that a little bit. I'm trying to do the same treatment to the rest of this, where I just kind of work it, fluff it, and get some loose, you know, material so that those big ones can kind of nestle down in there. It's hard to get rid of those. I mean, I suppose there's a rake or some kind of, you know, tool that I could scoop them up that'll sort them out. Like if you had a particular bucket with tines a particular distance apart, that would work actually, like a sieve, but I don't have that. So we're just gonna do the best with what we've got here. Use the old foot wedge here. The grater box might do a better job of gathering those rocks too, especially if he gets it packed in. Looks like we got a problem. blown hydraulic hose. Well, that wasn't a very good start. At least it's a short hose. It's pretty accessible. So, all right. So, looks like I got some running to do. We got the old hose off and had a new one made at our local Napa store. So that was quick and easy. Hopefully we can get this put back together and we'll be back up and running. Oh, and I forgot to get oil. I'm glad you have some. Okay, let's be back in action as soon as we put some oil in. There you go. Yep. All right, well, I'm gonna fire up that grader box and I'm gonna grade this real quick since I got it now.
Okay. Not do anything.
Yeah, not do anything. I'll grade this up first and then that way I can drag some of these. That grader box might do a good job of dragging the big ones and I'll kind of dump them along the edge.
Okay.
And then I'll have you roll it again. So. All right, just to bring you up to speed, I took the hydra bucket around there. There's a lot of big rocks mixed in there, but I've been trying to work everything up. I've been trying to drag all the big stuff into the overcuts that we did along the edge here. So I got a lot of those in this overcut, and I'm gonna have Rob come through with a roller and start smashing this stuff down so we can bury these big ones along the edges. And then that way when we get new stone tomorrow, we'll be able to cover it up. So. That's the gig. So he's gonna get to rolling and I'm gonna get to grading. Sound good? Yep. Okay. All right, I think we've made it past the halfway point. So we got everything ground up, graded out. We got the big rocks kind of buried along the edges now. Rob followed me with the roller after I graded with the Bruno and the Northwoods Fab box. That's plenty of box for Bruno. It was kind of big and I'd spin out a lot, so I missed pulling it with the 75. So it's about 6:30. I think we're gonna hang it up for tonight. I'll go get some stone in the morning first thing. Dump on here, then we'll start finishing it off. So if all goes well, it'll be done tomorrow. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be done tomorrow because we don't know what's gonna break yet. So
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
It's not gonna rain.
No rain. All right, we're back first thing in the morning and I just ordered 3 loads of stone. I really don't have time to truck it myself, so we're gonna have him haul it in here. Good morning. How are you? All right, would you be able to spread like 2 poles in front of that barn? Okay. We'll probably put one there and then I'll put the other ones here. He lets all the stone go to the back and hit the tailgate. Then he can lower the bed a little bit. I haven't had enough practice spreading yet. Go, go, go. He's got his chain set too wide. It's all right. That's sweet. He did make it around that curve. So Denise is gonna spread this last load for us. Keep going. All right, all of our stone is here and present. We're gonna start strewing around, getting it graded up, and then this one will be done. Okay, I spent about a half hour with the skid loader just knocking the piles down and kind of moving the stone where it needed to be. Not final grading by any means, but just moving stone around. And instead of horsing around more with that, I'm just gonna jump on Bruno here. I'm worried that I won't have enough traction. That's where the 755 with 4-wheel drive would be really nice. Actually, a 655 with 4-wheel drive would be nice because I don't need the power, I just need the traction. But you can see how it's pretty rough. There's little piles like that, but hopefully the grader box can. The thing is, you just can't do it all at once. You got to start light and start smoothing it up, and then you can make a little more progress. All right, we did our first little bit of grading here with Bruno in that Northwoods 6-foot grader box, the electric one that I normally pull with a 755, and that is just too much grader box for a 2-wheel drive tractor. I kept spinning out and I was having a lot of trouble, getting really frustrated. So Rob and I actually just went home and we grabbed our old trusty rusty hydraulic box, and this will be a better fit for Bruno. Plus with the hydraulics I can go up and down a lot faster, which really helps me to fill, like when I want to fill in along this edge, I can control the box a lot faster. So I always said that this box is better for dirt work where you're filling and cutting and trying to move material, and the Northwoods box is really good for finish grading. But so we're gonna put this one to work and see if we can get something done now. All right, well, I think we're gonna call that a wrap. We got that stone all laid in there, rolled out nice. Man, that roller is a game changer. Every time I did one of these driveways before, I had wished I had a roller to finish them, and now I know why. It just makes them look terrific. So we're gonna call this one good. He's gonna drive on it, let his kids run the go-kart on it, and see if they can tear it up. But I'd say we're ready for the next one. Are you happy with it?
Absolutely.
You good?
Yep.
All right, an eye for an eye. We got a basement island, and you got a driveway graded. We good?
And then some, or whatever. You owe me. Whatever I owe you. So.
Well, we'll figure it out in the wash.
Yep.
All right, well, thanks, Rob.
Yep, no problem.
I'm gonna move on down to the road to the next one.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm here at the next project, and this one's a biggie. This one really needs some attention. So it's kind of our grand finale, but the driveway's just been in steady decline for a while. This is a neighbor, Ron. Went to school with their boys. Matter of fact, his oldest boy was in my class, and well, it just needs a little work here. It's really close to home. I can see my house right there. But I'll show you what I've got here. So you can see a lot of potholing. It's just really needing some stone. It's been, ooh, it's got like a high spot right here. So this is like a bump. You can't see all this on camera, which is a shame because it's in rough shape. And the edges are kind of built up. So the driveway's definitely got a dip in it. So we're gonna do what we can to get this dolled up. All right, so I took the roller and I put it up there so it's out of the way for now. I'm just gonna jump in the skid loader with the grinder bucket and start grinding this up. I'm really excited about driveways like this because there's the biggest opportunity for that wow factor, the biggest and best before and after, because it's going to feel like a whole different place pulling in here once we're done. But I got a lot of work to do to get prepped for that, and so I'm going to grab my coffee. I'm going to put my AirPods in, jump in, and enjoy some afternoon in the heat, in the climate control. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering about the Bobcat hat, I went to the Equip Expo down in Louisville with Kyle Spicer from Spicer Designs, and Bobcat was giving away free hats. I never turned down a free hat. So I'm hanging over that edge a little bit so I can try to capture some of that lost stone that's in that berm. And that's the only place this thing is really cutting right now. But I know there's got to be stone along that edge, and with all that vegetation and kind of organic matter that's along the edge, we'll get it drug into the center, and that way we can kind of mix it in, because we're going to be adding stone to this for sure. So when we add the new stone, we want to make sure we have all that old junk buried. What I need to be able to do is grind out these holes. They're like cavities. If you've ever been to the dentist and they've taken care of a cavity, you know that they grind it out first to get rid of all the dead and the decay, and then that's when they fill it back in. Well, the same is true for these potholes. You kind of got to get through them and get some even material to blend it all in. So if you can't get to the bottom of them, you're going to have to scoop some off the top. So I went through and I kind of re-established the edges. What I found as I got into it, I was trying to pull the sod that kind of boiled over along the edges. I was trying to pull it off the edge, and what I found was that the edges were super thin and there wasn't much sod there. So it was just pulling right off the top of what used to be driveway. The driveway got a little wider as a result, but I undermined all those potholes and ground through the center, and I really dug the center out. And now I'm at a point where I'm trying to put back some of the stone that I dug out, build up the center, and I got 2 loads of stone coming that we can use to hopefully patch this up. So. Trying to get this little bit of sod down here in front of the garage out of here, and I'll start grinding this up. So I'm going to dump this in the dump truck to get rid of it, and then we'll grind. Go, go. All right, well, we got 2 loads of stone hauled in here. I need to knock it down a little bit because the piles are pretty thick and they spread it really thick. So I'm gonna get this dressed up and knocked down, scattered around a little bit, and then we'll come in with a grater box to finish it off. So, but I got a half hour of this yet. I think that's the reason their driveway's probably in such bad shape. Delivery drivers. Wow, it really gets dark early this time of the year, but it forces you to be done before it's too cold. So I wrapped up last night right as it got dark, and today I'm back with the 755 and the Northwoods pull type box, the battery operated box. And I got this dressed up, got the piles knocked down. If you'll remember, there was a great big pile here at the end of the driveway, and then I had a pile up there by the house to deal with. I still got a little bit of a pile up there, just so I have some stone to work with. And one of the problems when you're grading with the skid loader is when you work in the middle and you start to boil stone over the edges of the bucket on the right and the left side, you get a little windrow along the edge like this right here. And if you've watched for a long time, you know that I like to say, don't put stone where you don't want it. Don't put dirt where you don't want it. And I'm real close to getting the stone where I don't want it, because if you get that windrow too close to the edge, it makes it really difficult to get it pulled back in. I wish I had something with an angled blade that I could go along the edge and windrow it to the center, but I'm left with what I got, and that is my grader box with a, it's got edges on it, so I can start to pull some of that stone in. I just won't be able to do it all at once. So I'm going to start to work that stone towards the center, then we'll get this graded up, and then we'll grade the parking area up front, and won't be too bad. Well, it took a little time and just used the grader box to kind of pull that windrow in. I'd have to go forwards and back, forward and back, forward and back. But if you're patient and consistent, you can get it pulled in. You can see where the stone's a little thin right there, but that's kind of on grade, so there's not much I can do about it. The driveway's looking pretty decent compared to where it started, so I'm good with that. Now I'm gonna work on this parking area. I took the skid loader, I knocked down what little pile of stone I had left, and then I scattered it about because I think that the hydra bucket, it does a really good job at working stuff up and churning it and making it all uniform, but it creates a lot of powder too. So I wanted to add a little bit of new stone to this, and then I'll stir it all around with the grader box and get it looking consistent, because consistent is kind of what I want. And then we'll roll it in, finish her off with a roller. Okay, got everything all graded out. I'm happy with that. It looks pretty good. We're gonna roll it in and see what it looks like, and then we might wrap this one up. All right, well, I think I'm gonna call that a win. It turned out pretty good. There's a few places along the edge where, I didn't cut these edges out, and so as a result, I really couldn't fill in with brand new stone right up to the edge. There was places where the edge was as high as what I wanted the grade in the center to be, so you can see a little brown spot where the grader box kind of leveled that off as it maintained the elevation in the center of the driveway. And I've got a little bit of a crown to it. I pulled all that edge material that was windrowed up into the middle, and it's pretty level. So I saw the homeowner pull in, and it looked pretty good as she came up the driveway, so I'm gonna call that a win. I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm about to make sure that they're happy with it, and if so, we're gonna call it complete. What I am happy with is that you're here tagging along and watching every week. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to have everyone coming back week after week. So thanks so much for that, and if I'm lucky, I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Okay, well, here's a message for all you till the enders that watch the complete video until the end. Many longtime viewers of the channel might wonder about my 1979 Bronco and the status thereof. Well, I'd like to inform you that there's some development on the 79 Bronco. Something is going to happen this winter, for sure. And there's one reason that I know for sure, because, well, I've done some work on it, and it's going to have a lot of work done to it over the winter. So if you're interested in the 79 Bronco restoration project, make sure you're subscribed so you can catch everything that happens this winter. I'm hoping that by next spring, we've got some exciting developments. All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you around in the next one, if I'm lucky.